ready.
Jawan has one of the coolest weapons I've ever seen in a film. While a lot of blockbusters have guns and heavy artilleries, this film has those too, but this weapon's like nothing I've ever seen before. It is like a huge wrench with a spinning blade. When Shah Rukh Khan enters the scene, it reminds me of the epic moment when Thor entered Wakanda for the first time, with a Stormbreaker axe. I got goosebumps from this scene. I mean, look at this. How cool is that? Jawan translates to a young soldier in Hindi. The film follows Azad, a woman's prison warden, hoping to make a change in his country and eliminate corruption within the government, while sprinkling a few plot twists along the way. The film is not a superhero film, but it sure feels like one. It feels like the superhero that India needs and deserves. I'm gonna start by saying this. I absolutely love this film. The 3 hours went by like a breeze, and I was mesmerized by the high-octane action from the very beginning. However, at times, I felt that moments did speed by too fast, not allowing some of the more emotional moments to sink in. And the film didn't quite allow me to build a connection with some of the characters, but still, this is an impressive action extravaganza that had me cheering at times. Let's start the action. From the very opening scene, I knew this was going to be something. Our wounded hero was found floating down a river, and the village decides to nurse him back to life. One day, the village comes under massive attack by raiders, and we get to see Shah Rukh Khan play this godlike badass as he whoops every one of the attackers. Jawan utilizes plenty of speed ramping transitions for its action, and it solidifies that within its first action scene, and boy does it make the film look epic. You watch every blow in slow motion before transitioning back to normal speed. Every punch, you feel the power, and you can imagine the attacker's bone breaking and snapping. It is that good. Many films that utilize the speed ramping transition tend to pull me out of the film, but in this case, it does the opposite. It makes everything look grandiloquent and works for the style it's going for. The speed ramping also matches the vivid, vibrant color palette, making the action stand out. There are plenty of great action set pieces and action choreography in this film, but I'm not going to share all of them as I believe you should check them out for yourself. But I do want to mention a car chase scene in this film. That scene is probably my favorite. Imagine Mad Max in modern days but infused with over-the-top stunt wire, combined with epic speed ramping transitions. You get people smashing through car windows horizontally, backflipping while reloading. That's the type of action you're getting. You gotta suspend your disbelief here, but when you do, you're going to get the most insane fun. It is chaotic, adrenaline pumping, and just has to be seen to be understood. Now let's talk about Shah Rukh Khan. We all know he's a badass, but once again he proves it here and demonstrates to us why he's one of the best in the industry. But Jawan allows him to go beyond that and display his acting diversity. Underneath that badassery, he presents himself elegantly while also showing his more affectionate side as a soon-to-be loving father. His character feels authentic, and you see layers of him unfold throughout the film, while having to come face to face with his past, allowing for heartwarming and emotional moments. I loved him throughout the runtime of the film. However, I did find his final speech delivered kind of oddly. It was as if he was running out of breath and trying to squeeze every last word out before his breath ran out.
कितनी घिसापिटी करते हो, कितनी घिसापिटी, हर जगह, हर वक्त.
But other than that, yeah, he's terrific. Although the supporting characters did a great job, the film did not exactly allow me to connect with them, as it was so focused on Azad's story. For example, I didn't quite care about the relationship between Azad and his soon-to-be wife, as the film constantly sped forward to its next action extravaganza. The backstory of some of the characters, although effective, and does pack an emotional punch, but the moment it cuts back to the present, it's already zooming off to the next scene, and everyone is gearing up for some gun mayhem, not allowing the powerful moments to truly sink in. Jawan also had a cameo, which I'm not gonna say who, but for Bollywood lovers, it'll probably place a huge smile on your face. Although her screen presence wasn't long, the film was able to deliver on its heartfelt moment, and it really added a lot towards the growth of Azad's character as the film progressed. I also love the film's message. Jawan did a great job of making you care for those who suffer from the country's corruption, and it did well in identifying the issues the country is facing, without feeling too preachy. There's not a definite answer to the solution, but it allows its audience to think for themselves. As the film reached its end, it gave me hope that the film would spread its message, help expedite growth, and change the country for the better. Jawan also has some really catchy tunes, and as usual, it delivers some visually stunning set pieces, great dance choreography, and vivid color choices. You feel the energy pulsating through the screen. My favorite track has to be the one from the prison scene. The song feels like a roller coaster as you get to see the backstory of Azad and how he became the person he is. You feel all the emotions pouring out, the love, the pain. I loved it. Although I had a total blast of the film, and I love the action, sometimes even when suspending my disbelief, scenes still didn't make any sense. For example, there's a scene when Azad hijacks a train. Everyone is freaking out, which of course is going to happen, but then Azad gives this huge speech, and suddenly everyone is clapping and cheering and decides to help him with his plan. It feels very sudden and out of place. If someone were to point a gun at me on a train, there ain't no way I'm helping that person out.
Police! Police! Help! Police!
even if he gives a terrific speech and explains it is all for good cause. As after all, the person still pointed a gun at me. I'll probably be shitting myself. That is more likely to happen. During that scene, Azad and his team were also somehow able to sneak a minigun, yes, a minigun, through the train security without anyone stopping or even suspecting them. Either this train station has the worst security, or the security guard is blind. So yeah, we get some moments like these that drag me out of the film slightly. There are also some corny lines sprinkled here and there about doing what is right. Don't exactly remember what they said, but it is the ones that you definitely have heard before. Also, just another slight small nitpick. Whenever there's an action scene, there's this one song that kept being used, and I just thought it was a weird choice, and kinda funny, as it didn't always fit every single fight scene. The same exact line was always used. The lyrics kept referring to a Glock, but some action scenes don't even have Glocks in them. So yeah, it just felt slightly out of place. I'm not gonna go pick apart all the tiny things in this film. Just go give Jawan a watch if you haven't. Don't let my above nitpicks stop you from seeing this film. This film is great. Maybe not the best when it comes to allowing the more emotional scenes to linger, but the action is top notch. Indian action scenes always amazes me. It might not be your cup of tea, as everything seems to defy the laws of physics, but you gotta appreciate the fact that they're willing to try something new and be innovative, because trust me, you aren't getting any of these in Hollywood blockbusters, so go give this film a try. Have you seen Jawan? Do you plan to see it? If you did, what did you think of it? Comment below and let me know, and as always, subscribe for your next travel ticket.